I'm Stacy Brooks with the Lisa McPherson Trust, and I'm very happy to be here today with Maria Pia Gardini from Italy. She contacted us after she was defrauded by the Church of Scientology of over $2 million. Unfortunately, we get calls like Maria Pia's nearly every day. Scientology is trying to convince the world that it's a benevolent, caring religion that's being discriminated against unjustly. Listen to this woman's story and decide for yourself what is the true face of Scientology. Maria Pia, why don't you start by telling us how you got into Scientology?
Well, I got into Scientology in 1985. My daughter was doing a little bit drugs, so I was concerned about that, and I was very scared. So somebody was talking to me about Narconon program, so I brought her to the Narconon, and that's the way I met Scientology.
So after she did the Narconon program, did you then decide to get into Scientology yourself?
Yes, when she came out, you know, I was very alone. So she said, why don't you start? And she presented me somebody. They were talking to me about purification rundown. And they pushed the bottom, like you push a bottom in every woman. Your skin will become better, you will be okay. All the dirty thing in your body will come out.
Sort of as a facial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought that package. Is purification rundown plus one intensive or Dianetics auditing. Is book one. It's called book one in Scientology. Mm-hmm. You know, I was scared because to be 5, 6, 4, I don't know how many hours in that sauna, so hot. And I wasn't young. I was over 50 at the moment. So I was really scared. So the second day I blew. I went away. I said, that's it with this.
You just didn't go?
I took off my telephone and, okay, I had people and the doctor of the sauna coming to me, explaining.
They came to your house?
Yeah, sure. I think I've done a short purification down, like 1 week and a half.
But how did they get you to go back to do it?
They put some people inside. I had music in the sauna. I had people just to talk with, you know, sympathetic. There was an old man, very sympathetic, older than me. That's why I say, okay, I'm not so old, I can do it. You know, I was very depressed regarding my father's death. So I was talking to a friend about that, and she said, oh, you have to do that book one auditing. So I say, oh, I paid for it. Let's try. Mm-hmm. The book one auditor was the best one I ever had. She was a girl, a lady, with a lot of affinity for me and a very good communication. So she put me through my father's death. It took almost 11 hours to do that. And I was so happy that I went to the registrar, the guy that sells programs, and I say, hey, I want to stay more with that lady. I want another 12 hours. I say, oh no, you must buy a pack.
A package?
At the time it was about $11,000, then 11 or 12,000.
For 10 intensives?
10 intensive,
mm-hmm.
Yes. I was there with her at 9 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. And at the same time in the afternoon, I was studying in the academy.
The academy is where you go to do training in Scientology,
yes.
To become an auditor?
Yes, and I became a class 4 auditor.
So you paid for your auditing training as well then?
Stacy, I paid for everything. From the beginning to the end of my Scientology journey, there's no 1 hour auditing or anything I've done without pay. Mm-hmm. That must be clear since the beginning. Mm-hmm. So when I attested to book one, they say, oh, you have to do the grades.
Now grades are Scientology auditing rather than Dianetics auditing.
Scientology from objective, that is after I talk about you. To grade 4, grade 5, net, are all steps, you know, to behave better, to raise your responsibility, all the kind of thing, mm-hmm. to see what you have done wrong in life. I paid for it, and I started. But the beginning was a drama.
Why?
There is a procedure, you can explain it, called op pro by dap.
Oh, it's called opening procedure by duplication, otherwise known as book and bottle.
Yeah.
What happens in this procedure is that the auditor puts a book on a table at one end of the room and a bottle on a table at the other end of the room. And then the auditor gives these commands to the pre-clear. Look at that book, walk over to it, pick it up. What is its color? What is its temperature? What is its weight? So the person has to go over, pick up the book, and tell the auditor what is its temperature, what is its weight, what is its color. And then the auditor says, thank you. Now, look at that bottle. Person walks to the other end of the room. Pick it up. What is its temperature? What is its weight? What is its color? And the person has to do the same thing with the bottle. And then they repeat this procedure for hours and hours and hours, sometimes for days at a time. And it can become very, very, very maddening for the person.
You know, after 1 hour, an hour and a half, I was out of my mind. I took that fucking bottle and I threw the bottle in. Happily, it was not a glass bottle, it was a plastic bottle. I threw it on the head of the auditor. Then I pick up the book, and the book was in 1,000 pieces. And the auditor tried me to physically keep me there, so I slapped her.
Oh, gosh.
And I put on my shoes because I was without shoes. I had fists like that. I opened the door and I went straight home. So I had 4 people the night at home.
They come to your house?
Yeah, they come to my house just to say, okay, not all the auditing is like this. Okay. Then we went on to grade 1, grade 0, grade 1, grade 2. It started with the sec check, security check, you know.
Yeah.
There's a long sec check, I don't know.
This is when they ask you about all the crimes that you've ever committed in your life.
Yeah, I didn't felt I had committed so many crimes. And the auditor started to tell me, go in your past lifetime. I say, I don't know anything about past life. So I attested to grade 2, 3, 4. Then they started to put me on NED, New Era Dianetics.
Yeah.
But I had done 132 hours of book 1, that is Dianetic 2. The case supervisor told, no, she cannot do it, she's clear.
Uh-huh.
I did 25 minutes of NED, but I paid for the whole intensive.
Wait, you paid for a whole intensive of it, but you only did 25 minutes?
Sure, they couldn't put me on NED, so what?
So then did they give you your money back for the hours that you didn't use?
Oh, you believe this? No.
They didn't?
No. I had already paid. They didn't refund you what you pay.
But you didn't use the hours?
Yes, but it's only written in so-called Hubbard policy that they refund you the money. They didn't. You paid for NED. Okay, you couldn't do NED. Thank you.
Thank you for your donation.
Yeah. So at that moment they say, you have to go to, there was a mission of Copenhagen there. So they say, well, you have to go to attest you're clear. And
now in Copenhagen, in Europe, that's where people have to go.
In Denmark, yes, is an advance org for Europe and Africa, where you go to do your CCRD is the rundown to verify if you are clear.
It's a clear certainty rundown.
Clear
Yeah.
certainty rundown. And you can do OT level to OT V. But the pack I bought was CCRD.
Only.
And the eligibility. So again,
and an eligibility is security checking.
Security check and to see if you are eligible to stay in an advanced org and to go on that.
To make sure that you don't have any crimes.
At this point, I must have been Al Capone with all the security check they did on me. Anyway, so I went to Copenhagen. I was a SEER member.
Yeah, how did you get into the SEER?
When I was doing the grades, there was a mission from the CLO Continental Liaison Officer.
Which is a management
in Italy for every country. They came down and they convinced me that, you know, the CR, we are a huge group, we are friends each other, you'll never be alone, You will have your free auditing, you will have your bridge, you are trained, you can become this and that and that. They were talking.
And this, you'll get all of this as part of your...
No, I didn't get anything.
But they were telling you that you'll get
Yes.
this as part of being a Sea Org member.
Yes, yes.
That you won't have to pay for your auditing and you won't have to pay for your training.
Yeah. So I arrived to Copenhagen.
So since you'd already paid for your clear package, they said go ahead and, you know, pay for that, but then after that you won't have to pay. Okay.
Happily, I arrived in Copenhagen with the pockets full of money, because otherwise I would have slept in the Rivoli, that's the garden there, or under a bridge.
Why?
I arrived to AOSH.
Advanced Organization of St. Hill.
They have a huge building there, beautiful, in the one of the main street of Copenhagen. The girl, the reception was, she said, "Where are you sleeping?" I said, "I don't know, I'm a staff member." "What do you think, whether I'm sleeping?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but you are from another org, you have to pay for your accommodation."
Isn't your org supposed to pay for it?
Yes. I went to the LRH.com, the communicator of LRH. I say, "Why?" He say, "You know, CLO has debt with us, not money in deposit." So, okay.
So you pay.
So they bring me to the Nordland hotel. It's a big place.
A pigsty.
A pigsty. It was dirty because it was the girl of the product zero cleaning. The carpets had holes like this. So they showed me some room and they gave me one room and I paid for that room and for the food.
So you're supposed to be getting this
I didn't get anything.
as a student. Okay.
But I was in Copenhagen. What have I to do? Go back?
Yeah.
No. I started this, the CCRD cycle that was terrible. Because there was only one auditor auditing in Italian, but he was Swiss-German. So he was speaking German and so-called Italian that was not Italian. I didn't understand what he was telling. He didn't understand what I was responding. He was writing something that was not exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
The estimation was 2 weeks to stay there. I was there 2 months. So at the end there was this Spanish guy, a Spanish auditor, very good one, that was speaking a very good Italian, and I did the CCRD with him, and I attested to clear. When I made the speech after clear, I didn't know what to say. I didn't feel so expanded. I didn't feel something had come up like that from my head.
You
like
didn't
the
feel
bank,
any change from being
I
clear?
felt happy because I was in Copenhagen. I met a lot of friends. And I remember I have this picture of LRH. The one is sitting on the ship with the finger like that in front of me, a giant picture. And they make you to do the speech in front of that. I was looking at that man, I was saying, I wanted to tell him, "Hey guy, I'm not getting what you promised me. Don't feel so expanded." I was just happy.
Yeah.
But more of all, I was happy because I had finished.
Yeah.
So for me, the only thing had to put on a silver bracelet, and I was clear. So I went back. I can go back to Italy, see my daughter. So I went back to Italy. So I went back to Italy, went to the CLO to do the product zero.
Okay, now Product Zero is a preparation for becoming a Sea Org member?
Yeah. I don't know how you can prepare you to become a Sea Org member, washing plates and cleaning toilets.
Is that what you were doing?
Yeah. From 7 in the morning, I was in the kitchen for 70 people, to cook for 70 people. And I was dead, tired, you know. We went to bed at midnight and a half. At 6 o'clock, get up, because at 7 o'clock the breakfast must be ready for the staff member. I got to my car and I went back to Rome.
So you
Without
decided
telling
to
to
leave?
anybody. They were looking for me around. And they tried to call my house in Rome and they found me there. I said, "That's it, Scientology is not for me."
So at that point, you were ready to be done with Scientology.
Yeah.
Well, how did they get you back?
They came to Rome to convince me to come back to the CLO. They were sleeping on the carpets. I didn't have so much place, so many bedrooms. I say, no more plate washing, no more toilet cleaning. They say, no, you attest that you finish. At that moment, I say, but I've done 2 weeks. I'm supposed to stay a month and a half, 2 months. No, it's gone. You are okay because you are an auditor. We put you to audit staff. That would be your product zero, to audit staff. At that point, the senior case supervisor, Italy, that was on OT VII, decided that it was good to have me as a qualification sec for Italy, because I was the most trained there. Me and her were the only two.
Qualification secretary is it's a pretty high-level technical post.
Yes, it's the higher technical post in a country.
So you have to be at some
trained
OT
auditor,
level.
cramming officer. I did all the cramming officer. So, and they decided that it would be nice if I would be OT. So, Maria, you have to buy your OT levels.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you have to buy them? You're in the Sea Org. It's
Yes,
part of
but
your job. Why would you have to buy them?
I had under me in the CLO Italy staff that were in Scientology since 18 years. They weren't yet clear.
Yeah.
I wasn't 20 years old. I was
But
50.
I mean, it is not the policy
No.
of Scientology for someone to have to pay for their auditing if they're a staff member.
In 9 years I was in Scientology. I think I have seen applied policy once or twice. Policy are for stupid people that read it.
You mean people
Yes.
who think it's being applied?
So they sent me to Copenhagen again.
And you paid for your OT
I
levels?
paid for OT 1, OT 2, or OT 3. I arrived in Copenhagen. They were very happy. They put me immediately on the chair to audit.
So now you've gone to Copenhagen to get your OT levels, but now you're auditing, they're paying the people that have paid for auditing.
Sure.
So you're working for them.
Yeah, I was a SEER member. So in the morning, I was studying for the OT levels and getting audited because, you know, the eligibility and being a SEER member, security check, like if I had killed somebody.
And eligibility is a series of security checks that you have to have. They're security checking you to make sure that you don't have any crimes before you go on to your OT level.
Because it's very confidential material, they will not disclose that material to you. And in the afternoon, from 3 o'clock to night, I was auditing public.
Till the end of the evening, you were auditing
Public
pieces.
So it took me much longer to do OT levels.
Were you also paying for your hotel?
Yeah, I was paying for my food, I was paying for my hotel, I was paying for everything.
Okay.
Because I was a SEER member from another org. So they told me, we are not supposed to feed you.
But your org is supposed to pay for your meals and for your
my org was
accommodations.
poor.
But your org didn't have the money, so you paid for
They
it.
had the money. I did OT 1.
And what was that like?
Oh, God. I read you know, it's a small, you have done it, it's a small thing, OT 1. And they say, okay, now go out, walk around, and expand yourself. Find somebody that you put your attention on, look at the thing, and you have to get expanded. I said, what does it mean?
What does it mean?
I went in a coffee shop, I took a coffee, I say, because they say stay a couple of hours around. What was I doing a couple of hours in the street of Copenhagen?
Go sit and have some coffee.
Yeah. So I got some coffee, then I came back and they say, okay, you can go to attest to the EP of 41. How do you feel? Very good, I say.
Why'd you say that?
Because I don't want to go back and walk other 2 hours for Copenhagen. I went also shopping. I bought a pair of shoes.
Well, that always makes me feel expanded,
Yeah.
shopping.
Yeah. If I want to spend, I shop.
shop.
Shopping. But, you know, inside myself, I felt like I was doing something wrong.
What do you mean?
When I came back, I felt exactly as I felt when I went out.
Why didn't you tell him that?
I asked for an interview. And I told to this lady, I say, listen, something must be wrong with me. I feel like a piece of stone because maybe I don't understand, but that's difficult. You know, I'm a good student. I've done university. I graduated language. I've graduated the first part of medicine, so I'm not somebody that, how comes that I don't understand here? They say, you have to go on 2 and 3 will disclose you the world.
So in other words, you told the interviewer that you didn't feel any different.
They say you have
after
to go
OT
to
one.
OT3.
And she said, go ahead on the test anyway.
Yeah.
And move on to OT2.
Yeah.
So she knew that you hadn't made any changes on
But I
OT1.
think that everybody, you know, I saw faces like that.
But don't you pay for OT1?
Yes.
And they know it doesn't do anything.
They will keep me there for 3 years. So I went to OT2, I see, is the first real OT level.
Mm.
In the course room, I went to the supervisor of the course room. I say, listen, explain me what is written here. He says, it's in Italian, can't you read it? Yes, but I don't understand.
Because OT2 is basically, it says that you have lots of implants.
Implants,
In your
electric
head.
implants.
And these are all from millions of years ago,
Yeah,
thousands,
billions
hundreds
of
of
years
thousands.
ago, and you have to get rid of all this implant.
Yeah. You're given a series of sheets.
Sheets, and you have to go through those sheets, and the one that read, the implant that reads, you have to take it and start to.
You say it over
like
and
a
over
dichotomy,
again,
you know,
kind of.
black and white, and you go
Right. And you say these things over and over until
over and over until
something happens.
or you get
Whatever.
so sick that you close the meter and you go. So I started auditing OT2. My needle on the e-meter was like this. In Copenhagen, they have a small auditing room, one near the other. So I was hearing people yelling in the other room. I was laughing. I say, what do I do with this meter at certain moment?
They're yelling to try to get the meter to
get-
read on
and
these
more they yell,
implants.
more the meter read.
Yeah.
I start to do the same, and the meter was tack, tack, tack. I start to read. I say, okay, I got the implant.
Yelling.
I got the implant. OT2 or 5 session, I think, 3, 4 session. I don't remember. It was 2 days.
Were you ever able to find that light that they talk about?
That light, you remember?
Yeah.
That's the light that you have to find. The room was totally black. Black walls, painted black walls. I had this light, it was on the emitter like that, and I was looking to look for that light.
The light in that's supposed to be in the implants.
The implant.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever found it? I never found it. I told the CS, there's no light. There's an elephant. Because there was a circus near the auditing room, so we heard the elephant screaming.
But no light.
But no light. So he sent me back his session. You say, you have to see. And look, this is medicine. When you fix something at a certain moment, and you fix without moving your eyes, at a certain moment you start to see some spots. That's the nervous system. That's not the light of the implant. That's nothing to do with the light of the implant.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw that light.
By fixing your attention.
Fixing the wall in front. So I attested to it too.
So you turned in your folder to the CS and said,
I think I'm done.
now what's supposed to happen when you finish OT2? I don't remember.
You get rid of all the implant of
Are
your
you supposed to
track.
have any new realization or anything?
Yeah, your track is free from implant. That
And
is the EP of OT2. So I went in the course room of OT3. I was so happy. I say, now they tell me the wall of fire. I will find something great.
The secrets of the universe.
There was a guy near me in Copenhagen that when he read the OT III data, he fell down on the floor. I say, oh, what is that? So I put there, I start to read, then I went through the data again, because LRH said the more time you go through, the more you understand. I read it 5 times, and I was telling God, I know those data. I'm sure I know those data already.
Okay, now you're talking about this story about
the Volcanon.
75 million years ago,
75
a galactic
years ago, the Legion
overlord.
of the Space there, the loyal officer.
They gathered all the people up
All
in
the
the
people up
airplanes
together.
and shipped them to the volcanoes.
Shipped them to the volcano. There's the, I don't know in English how you call this.
The electronic strip, and they got all the
that
implants.
goes up and down like the stairs
Waving.
yeah. Well, I was sure, because LRH talk about past life, etc. I said, but it's impossible. I'm too old to have done this in a past life.
This material is sounding familiar to you.
Very familiar.
And you're...
I'm a reader of science fiction. I have more than 200 books of science fiction at home. One of them is The Legend of Space. Go there and you find the same electric thing, and you find the electronic trap in a volcano.
So this story had been written by somebody else?
All what LRH wrote is written by somebody else. By Buddhism, by Quran, by science fiction.
By the Quran, yeah.
The Quran. But when you start to say that that your body is made up
of these body thetans.
Of this body thetan, I start to, all my body was itching. It was like to have a illness. I was starting to moving on the chair. It wasn't real to me. That my body was made by body thetan, that so many people were with me.
Yeah.
And you remember there's a part that say when you go in a place that you are sure you have never been there because a body thetan that is with you was there. So I start to remember, yes, once I was in Austria with my father, I was sure that I was already been there. Maybe it's a body thetan, maybe I'm wrong, maybe there are body thetan. So okay, I finished the course and I went to the auditing. And the needle was stuck there.
Well, the needle's supposed to
read
to when you find one of these little things,
and you start to talk to him, to put
You're
him
supposed to, yeah,
up and
read
down
when you talk to the little BT.
on that supermarket thing. It's supposed to read. It was like that. Impossible to move it. When I start to become hungry, when I start to say, I'm a piece of stone, it's my fault, I'm different from the other, what happened with me? I was so angry that the needle started to read like crazy. I say, oh, I find all the body data. After, when I left Scientology, I realized I had a friend of mine, this is an engineer, opening the emitter, look at it. It reacts on nervous sensation, on your nerve.
Not on BTs.
And on body sensation. if you feel bad, not on BT, on cluster, that's no thing like that. At the moment I didn't know. I attested to OT III. I was called by the captain, the commanding officer of Copenhagen. They said, no, you have to do OT IV, OT V. I say, I don't have anything anymore to audit.
You've already gotten rid of your own case because you're clear. Now you've gotten rid of all your BTs. What else is there to do?
OT III, no more BTs.
There's nothing left, right.
You have to do OT IV. If the OT drug ran down, I say, I never took drugs. Yeah, but you ran the drugs all the past lifetime. So I called my mother, I said, send me the money for OT IV and OT V. My mother was sick and tired of all the Scientology things.
Did she try to tell you not to pay your money to this?
My mother called the police.
She did?
At home. I will tell you after. So she sent me the money, and I went on OT IV, And when I read, I say, more BT? More body Titan? Ah, yes, because those body Titan cannot get rid with OT3. They are druggy.
So you're supposed to be done with your BTs on OT3, but now you
Yes.
get on OT4 and you find out that there's more BTs.
Yeah, there's
But
more
these
BT
are drugged
because they
BTs.
are druggy. They are druggy.
So you couldn't
sleep.
find them on OT3.
They are sleeping. So on OT4, you have to wake them up.
Because of their drugs.
Yeah, because of their drugs. So OT4 is very fast, you know. In this lifetime, like they say, I never took more than aspirin or drink some glasses of whiskey. So what? I did my OT4.
So you couldn't find a lot of other lifetimes of drugs, huh?
No.
Ah.
I did my OT4. I attached it to my OT4. I say, that's it with BTs? Oh, yes.
But now let me ask you something, Maria. OT4 costs a certain amount of money,
Yes.
whether you spend 2 minutes on it or 50 hours.
It cost, at the time, it costed 4 million lira, like the dollar was a little bit lower, so let's see, like $3,000.
So you pay $3,000 to do OT4,
I did OT4 in 25 minutes.
but did you get any of the money back?
No, you pay for OT4. If you do 25 minutes or 12 hours, that's paid.
So if you only take 25 minutes, it doesn't matter to...
I asked them, I say, can I put that time on OT5?
Yeah.
No, that's OT4 intensive is something different.
So you just lost that money.
Yeah. And I started the eligibility for OT5. I say I've done 25 eligibility until now.
Now you're supposed to get more sec checks?
Yeah, I say why I finish OT4 today, I go on OT5 tomorrow. Which crime you think that I can commit between tonight and tomorrow morning? So this time this changed. The eligibility was a false purpose rundown, false purpose rundown, the FPRD.
Now, false purpose rundown is a particular type of security checking where they ask you...
You look for the evil intention.
Right. So you're not only being sec checked for your crimes, but then you're asked for the evil intention behind
Yes, but wait
the crime.
a moment. Do you remember an HCOB meter reading OT3 and above?
Yes.
It's not always your evil intention.
Right.
Can be a body that an evil intention.
So now are you being asked whose it is?
Sure. And at that moment I went crazy. I said, what? They are not gone?
Wait,
oh,
well,
no. They are more.
I've still got more
There are
BTs?
Can be some more. So, that had evil intention, and so they didn't went out with OT3, but with the full purpose rundown.
So they haven't left on OT3, they haven't left on OT4, but maybe
Never.
they'll leave on
They
OT5.
will never leave. They are not there. So, okay, I arrive on OT5. When I read the OT5 is audited by an auditor. It's
Now
not
this is new era Dianetics for OTs.
See,
This is
not
NOTS.
Yes, that was that one.
But an auditor is auditing you on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like auditing solo like OT3, OT1. OT4 and OT5, there's an auditor auditing you.
But now it turns out that OT5 is all about finding more BTs.
Sure. And asking them, what are you? So you get answer like a banana, like a fish, like Napoleon, and who are you?
Like a toe,
Like a toe.
like a
plate, like a bottle of water.
like an ear,
Yeah,
a tooth.
like anything.
Anything can be
Anything. And then you ask him, who are you? And so you come up with Napoleon, Jesus Christ, you come up with your mother,
Whatever.
your father, whatever. But it's not their answer. It's you.
But you're thinking, at the time,
Yeah, I
it's
was
the
thinking that
BT
I had-
telling you these things.
I was thinking that I wasn't 100% sure, but I was thinking if LRH says that, must be that. I saw people so happy around. I was happy too, you know. I was in Copenhagen having good time, go in session, a lot of communication with my auditor. I thought I get rid of all this garbage, okay. I attested to OT V. Nothing more to do in Copenhagen. They couldn't reg me for nothing because you cannot do OT VI, OT VII in Copenhagen. It's only...
So it's as far as you could go in Copenhagen?
It's as far as I can go, so they let me out. I went, back the 6th December, there was a huge raid in Italy.
What happened?
The police at 8 o'clock of the 6th December, in all the town where there were a Scientology organization, at 8 o'clock they went in the organization. They shut up all the organization at the same time.
They shut them down?
They shut them down all. They took all the folder, all the materials, everything. They shut down the CLO, everything. So they called me on the phone from Rome. Oh, Maria, please, 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 can we go in your house?
Did they mean to live, or did they mean
No,
to set up
Scientology,
their offices?
to set up their offices in my house. So to say no, I felt like, you know, those guys in the middle of the street. I say, okay, go. But I called my maid. I say, hey, no keys. You go there at 8 o'clock so they can open. And at 8 o'clock when you leave, they have to leave. But they never left. They were there at midnight, at 1 o'clock. She didn't give the key, but they were inside.
Yeah.
So the people in the building started to call my mother. My mother was living in another town, and tell what's going on in your daughter's apartment. She's not there. There are people going up and down the whole night.
they set
I
up
believe
the
that somebody
CLO?
was sleeping there. They never told me, but
Yeah. They set up the whole CLO in your apartment?
the old org, Roma org.
The whole Rome org?
CLO was in Milano.
So they have people coming in and out, getting on course and things?
I arrived from Copenhagen. I say, guys, out. I couldn't go to bed because in my bedroom there was the case supervisor with the ivory tower. The ivory tower is the room of the case supervisor.
With PC folders all around?
All around. In the bathroom, they were auditing, sitting on the toilet. It was like a comedy. So they say, but we don't have money. So I say, look for an apartment. I will, as a donation, to have you out of here. I paid 2 months rent for that apartment, and the org went.
So now you're renting the org an
yeah,
apartment?
for 2 months, because the CLO Italy told me that I could, they will give me back the money.
And did they ever give you back the money?
Never. That's a Scientology way to act. So they were in one hotel. They started to cry, there's no money. The poor staff member in CLO Italy, they never had something to eat. That was terrible, you know, see the children of the staff member, because there was a nursery in the CLO. And the children, I was out to buy milk and biscuits for those children. That was terrible, really terrible. So I had to rent an apartment in that was an apart hotel, you know. I made the qualification office inside there, start to audit the staff. We lose in the CLO half the staff.
Mm-hmm.
They understood before me that was bullshit.
Because the Italian government shut down the orgs for what? For fraud?
Persecution, legal persecution, penal persecution.
Was it?
Staff was put in jail.
Mm-hmm. And what were the charges?
The charge was, I don't know how to say in English, burglary.
In other words?
Stealing money to the people.
Fraud.
That fraud.
Yeah.
That was. So immediately arrived somebody from the management from INT.
Is that when Jesse came?
Yeah.
Jesse Prince.
Jesse Prince. They look like they are Rockefeller. They rent an hotel, a full hotel, without one penny, because CLO had all the account blocked.
So where'd the money come from?
Where they come from the public.
They got donations.
Mm-hmm. Donation from me, from everybody.
How much did you donate to that?
Well, the donation from me was to rent 5 bedrooms in this hotel, paying to make the qualification office, to make auditing room, to make the ivory tower for the CS like this, and have them sleep inside in the night. At that moment, the in charge from Flag, from Clearwater, came to the hotel, and he said, guys, why don't you send Maria Pia to Flag to do OT VI and OT VII? So I say, okay, if you want, I go. I say, yes, but you have to buy your package.
How could you have to buy your package if you're...
The problem was I didn't want to ask money to my mother, and I had spent so much money in that period that so, you know, I did the most stupid thing to do. I went to Rome and I sold my apartment.
Oh, no. You did?
I did. And I gave the money to pay OT VI and OT VII.
How much was that?
Was $70,000. Because eligibility, because this, that, and that. So I arrived to Clearwater. I went to Fort Harrison. They present me Per Anquist, that was my registrar. I say, I don't need a registrar. Everything is paid. Birthing is paid. OT VI, VII paid. 7 intensive of eligibility, and I don't know what else is paid.
7 intensives?
You say, yes, but you know, when you are not in the course room, when you are in the auditing, you can improve your auditor abilities doing class 9, class 6.
But you're coming from Italy. If you're going to get training at Flag as a student from Italy, then your Oregon, Italy is supposed to pay for your training. That's what the policy says.
We already talked about policies.
You're
you
not
can
supposed
make
to.
Toilet paper with policies. They never used it.
You're not supposed to have to pay for your own
but
training.
I paid. And they were saying, but you are wealthy. You have money, so help Scientology. Help Scientology. I was helping.
So they're basically telling you that it would be unethical for you not to pay for your own services since
They
you
told
have
me
the
I
money.
was not a good Scientologist.
If you didn't pay for your own services, it would mean you aren't a good Scientologist.
Sure. I want to cry when I think of that.
So you're not making any money.
No.
At
I'm
all.
spending money.
You're spending money.
Yeah, I'm spending money.
Nobody's paying you.
No.
For any of this work that you're doing.
Yeah, they were paying me $9 a week when I was in the CLO.
Is this how much all the staff at that organization were getting paid a week? $9?
Yeah. So I started OT VI, and when I arrived in the course room, I started to read about BTs and body data and cumulated BT called cluster and all that kind of thing. I went nuts. I say, what is this? This is another kind. I say, how many kinds of body data there are? Tell me. Tell me till when I have to find new pieces to audit.
Now, what kind was this?
The same of OT V.
They were asleep
No.
on OT V, now they're awake? Or
No, they're the same.
whatever.
We don't know if they were asleep, awake, or looking at a movie. What I can tell you is the same thing. You ask, what are you? Who are you?
Only this time you're there by yourself.
You do by yourself.
There's no auditor there.
There's no
You're holding
auditor.
both the cans in one hand.
Both the cans.
Solo auditing.
Meanwhile, I was auditing OT VI. I started the briefing course. I did the briefing course.
Okay, now the briefing course is
Class 6.
the St. Hill Special
And
Briefing
this is
Course.
special briefing course.
This is the big, important auditing course that takes months to do.
Yeah.
Lots of tapes to listen
350
to.
tapes.
350 tapes to listen
And I
to.
did it in English.
And you did it in English.
There's no briefing course in Italian. There wasn't
Right.
at the time.
These are all
I
L.
don't know
Ron
if now
Hubbard
there is.
talking, giving lectures.
I did OT VI. I say now they are gone.
No more BTs
No
now.
more BTs until OT VII.
Now you get on to OT VII?
OT VII.
Now you find there's more BTs?
This is a comedy like OT VII. You know, they have people bodyguard, like they bring you from one side to the other if you have to go outside the building because you have the folder, the solo folder. They had security out of the door. That's like a comedy, a Spielberg movie.
They have guards posted? And
They have plenty of guards, and they had rifles.
They have what?
Rifles.
They have rifles?
Yes.
They have armed guards?
No, not when they run around, but they have it in for terrorism.
Yeesh.
Yeah. I went to do OT VII, and I said there are more. So, what we asked them this time, the same thing like OT VI. I say, why you don't do all together, 6, 7, 8, or everything? If they divide it in 3, they get 3 times the money. That's the joke.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can tell you one thing. One day I was in a room in Sandcastle for OT VII.
The hotel where people go in Clearwater.
When you bring your folder, you carry your folder. You finish the session, you have to bring every session the folder to the CS, the case supervisor. He is very confidential, so you have a briefcase locked and attached to your wrist with a chain.
The briefcase is attached to your wrist with a chain?
Yeah, we show you the pictures, it's nice. And I didn't want to go in the street with if I was jailed. So I say, I take a room there. It was less expensive also because it was the old Sandcastle with mouses, rats, cockroaches. You are never alone in the bedroom. That was nice. I remember once I was in session, I was bare feet doing OT VII, and I felt something on my feet. I looked like that I was a mouse on my feet. I got a lot of reads on that emitter. I was auditing the mouse BTs. Yeah. Then I finished OT VII. That, I was since April, I was till January in.
Well, but now, you did OT VII in less than a year?
Yeah.
I mean, aren't there people that have been on OT VII for up to 15 years?
It depends how much money they have. That depends from the money.
Is that really what you think it depends on?
Yeah, sure. For a month and a half, I did almost 800 hours, I think, 700 and something.
You're sitting there for
sitting
800
there
hours?
Day and night, because I was allowed to audit also during the night. I had set up in my room, I had the coffee machine, I had yogurt, I have everything. If I wake up in the night, I was taking a yogurt, making a coffee, and audit.
So you sat there for 800 hours auditing BTs?
Yeah, I don't know what I was auditing.
What do you think you were doing now, looking back on it?
I was thinking. I was thinking and thinking when my father was dead. You think about that and you get reads because his nervous system is reading on the meter.
So you get a read, you go, okay, good, there's another BT.
No, there's another. I got it, you see?
You just get anything
and
on the meter.
And then you start to ask
go,
him, who are you? What are you? A banana, who are you? Your father. Okay, thank you. Blow.
Looking back on it now, do you think there's such a thing as a body thing?
Was a comedy. No. There's no such a thing. You are probably get into your unconscious. And you get staying on that chair. I got a lot of body motion, of nerves reaction, of body itching, or headache. That's a pity.
Mm-hmm.
Must be dead. I have a headache. So that's because you believe. Mm-hmm. You believe in something. You want to believe. You pay so much that you want, must be true.
You pay so much money.
You want to believe it.
Yeah.
So I attested to class 6. I went on class 6 internship.
Now this is, so now you finished
and
OT VII.
No, I was auditing on OT VII.
Okay.
You know, at the beginning I was auditing a lot, then I was sick and tired. So I started to have 2-3 hours between the session. So they put me to in the class 6 internship. I was auditing public, paying public of flag.
Okay, now, I'm sorry to keep saying this, but isn't that against the policies of
Sure.
Scientology?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be auditing public paying people on an internship.
No, for 3 reasons. First, I was another org, as you remember.
And you're
Second,
not
I
supposed
was
to.
a paying public here. Third, you're not supposed to audit per policy paying public during the internship.
Right.
You do co-audit with the students that are in the internship with you.
So did you ever bring this up to the intern suit?
Yes, you know, but it was like I'm a flag auditor. It was like, haha, I'm a flag auditor.
You're paying them to let them make money off of your work.
Yes.
This is a very smart organization, isn't it?
They wouldn't have all that building, all that bullshit they are around, like the Hollywood Boulevard building, like the Fort Harrison, like the Clearwater. Who do you think that paid for all that? People like me. There's plenty of people like me.
Mm-hmm.
And the 15th or 22nd of January, I attested to OT VII. At that point, I remember the ethic officer for staff. He called me and say, okay, Maria Pia, now you are OT VII, full class 6 auditor. From now, you are a flag staff member. I say, wait a moment, they have a contract signed in Italy. So I don't know what they did behind my back. The contract was sent to flag. They sent another, a poor girl to Italy that was totally...
You mean to replace you?
Yeah.
This was your replacement?
Yeah, my replacement, she was on the student and since 5 months. She's no longer there since years, eons. I say, I need to go at least 1 month to Italy. I need to go to the CLO. I don't want that the CLO declare that I left without telling anything. I arrived to the CLO in Italy. Listen, Stacy, I was transparent.
You were what?
Transparent. Nobody say good morning.
Invisible.
Invisible. They were looking through me like that.
Why?
Because, oh, you blew the CLO, you went... No, I say, wait a moment. You accepted that I stay in flag.
They approved it.
I approved. Anyway, I went home, I make all my luggage, I saw my daughter, my granddaughter, my mom. I paid for my flight, I come back to flag. I arrive, I say, here I am. Very happy, I'm in Florida. And they say, you know, we have a problem. I say, which problem? Say, okay, in the Hacienda here is a place where the crew and the staff member live.
The Hacienda is a motel.
It's not a motel, it's a lot of
An apartment building.
Apartment building and motel, and where all the staff members from Fort Harrison and Sandcastle lives.
And they call it the Hacienda.
There are Hacienda and QI.
QI.
In the QI,
The Quality
there are
Inn, right?
staff members that has children. In the Hacienda, there are staff members that has no children.
Okay, so the Quality Inn they call the QI.
The QI.
And that's where the staff live with their
There's
children.
a big place where there's, like the Hacienda.
And the Hacienda is where
now
the...
they tell me Hacienda is marvelous, they remake everything, they spend a lot of money to redo everything. At that time, it was a pig place.
a pigsty.
I wouldn't have put my pig inside there. I didn't know the Hacienda, I haven't seen the Hacienda. So I say, okay, where do I go to sleep? Say, you know, we will renovate Sandcastle, so now we have some spare room that are free. We give you a room in Sandcastle. So I arrived to Sandcastle with my suitcases. I entered the room, there was no bed. I say, where do I sleep? On the carpet? Oh, they say, oh God, they already throw the beds away because they had to do work to renovate all that. So the first night I slept on the carpet. So I went out, I bought a bed, a mattress, sheets, blankets, everything.
If you're in the Sea Organization at Flag, you're supposed to be provided
Yeah.
a bed.
Yeah, but there were no bed. What had I to do? To
Did
take a
somebody
flight
tell
and
you,
leave?
did somebody say, no, we don't have any beds for you?
There's no bed. We will bring you a bed from the Hacienda. They bring me to a deposit to see a bed. The bed was large like this, 80 centimeter, and it was falling apart. And the mattress, you have to see the mattress, was so dirty, and it smelled so bad. I say, you want to give me that bed? Wait a moment. I take my shower every morning. I can't do that. So I went out, I bought the bed, the night table, I bought something to put my thing inside, a chair, an armchair. I made a nice white room, white and pink room. Surprise, surprise. After 1 week, arrived the bill to pay.
You?
Yeah.
What do
I
you
had
mean?
to pay for the room.
They're charging you for the room?
Yes.
The room where you just bought the bed?
Yes.
Why?
I was like crazy. And the CEO Sandcastle say, that's the order, you know. You are occupying a public room. I say yes. A public empty room.
Unbelievable.
So we arrived to an agreement. I pay a bit less than the half the price.
So you're now paying them to work for them?
Yes. In the meantime, I was doing class 9 internship, class 9 CS.
Auditing
and
for
auditing
them.
public, and during the study time, I was doing class 4, 6, 9 CS, internship, I started to CS, I was auditing and CSing. At a certain point, I say, that's it, I leave for Italy. I cannot go on paying here. What is this?
It's insane.
It's my own furniture and I pay? I went to the captain. At that point, the captain was Debbie Cook. When I arrived in Flag, the captain was Ron Norton. Ron Norton was posted in Golden Era.
That now Golden Era is gold, which
Gold,
is outside of Los Angeles.
Yeah, where they, and the new captain was Debbie Cook. So I went to her straight after a staff matter. I say, okay, I leave. No, now there is a place for you in the Hacienda. I arrived to Hacienda. I can tell you, Stacy, it was the first time I saw the Hacienda. They opened an apartment door. They opened another door. There was a bedroom with 8 beds, 3, 1, 3, and 2 under a window. I was like this. The smell was all this, you know, in summer with the hot of Florida, the shoes, tennis shoes and sports shoes. I turned to the guy and say, no way that I stay here. He said, you go in ethics. No, I go to the airport. you misunderstood. I don't go in ethics. I go to the airport, straight, with the uniform. I go. Okay, so they called me in ethics. They make me write OW over.
Okay, so now you got sent to the ethics officer because now you're being told you're doing something unethical because you're refusing to move into this room with 8 people. And they're telling you that you need to write up your overts and withholds. Why would you have to write up overts and withholds?
Because a senior member must stay in a senior berthing, because a senior member can be treated like a piece of shit. But you know, Stacy, that most of the senior members are young people. They arrive in the senior, you know why? Because they don't have a place where to sleep or a soup to eat.
So they don't have a choice.
They go there because they don't have 1 penny in their pocket. This staff member that has money, like Oscar Sadariaga and his wife, they lived in 2 cabanas in paying.
They were staff?
Yeah, sure. Oscar Sadariaga and his wife, Also the daughter is Pilar Sadariaga, is CMO, Commodore Messenger Staff.
So did you go to the ethics officer or did you go to the airport?
I go to the ethics officer and I say, I go. Say, no, you write to W. You're crazy, I go. Bye-bye. You know, Debbie Cook was just posted. To lose a Class 9 auditor NCS, OT VII, for her wasn't.
Unacceptable.
Wasn't healthy. Wasn't healthy.
Wasn't healthy, that's right.
Wasn't healthy. Absolutely. So she said, you know, we have in Hacienda 5 or 6 apartments that we rent to public. They are small apartments that public can rent when public come here and for long period to do briefing course, to do long. You can have it, one of that. You are in the Hacienda, you're not out of your building. I say, yes, okay, let's go. There are not a lot of furniture. I say, doesn't mind, I have my furniture. I have a bedroom. So they send a track to take my thing. I was paying for that $450 a month.
So now you're paying for an apartment at the Hacienda?
Yeah, I had 2 bedrooms, a little bathroom, a little living room, and a kitchen. No, it was not yet Debbie Cook, it was Ron Norton still. Debbie Cook arrived after 1 week I moved in the condo. I was alone for 7 days in that apartment. After 7 days, we were 6 in the apartment.
They started moving other people into your apartment?
Stuffing apartment, public staff in my apartment.
Now, but you're not still having to pay for it after that?
No. Before was my DOP, Maria was an Italian. I was happy. She said, I give you $50 a month. And I said, let leave this $50, you buy your food. And we had a huge fridge, you know, and we had everything inside. Since they start with the staff member in my apartment, every night I arrived and the fridge was empty. There was nothing, not even a bottle of water to drink. So I said, that's it, that's the end. I didn't want really to go back to Italy. My daughter came with her husband and to visit me for 1 week. She was OT VII, my daughter, before me. And so I went to a friend that was a realtor. I say, find me a condo.
A condominium?
Yeah. He find me one. He find a nice apartment in Highland Estate, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and I bought it. And on one Saturday when nobody was there in the Hacienda, I take a truck and I transfer everything in the condo. Life went on and on. I was auditing. Then OT VIII came out, and the name of OT VIII is Truth Revealed. I say, here we are. I want to do OT VIII. So I bought the pack of OT VIII on the ship. Then my daughter fell sick. And I was called from Italy to say, she will never recover, she will die, come back.
She was OT VII, though.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently she didn't have any BTA cluster left. She had something else. So I wrote to CSW, say I need to go. And Captain Debbie Cook say, okay, go. That was 1.5 years later.
This was in 90?
That was the 24 September 1990. I left for Italy. I went to Milano. My daughter died the 18th of November, same year, so after a couple of months. During that period, they tried 20 times to get me back. I say, no way. It's my only daughter. I'm her mother. And no way I come back to Fleck. Leave me alone.
How did she die, Maria?
AIDS. She died in 18th of November. I had a bunch of Scientology coming because she was a mission holder, so...
Your daughter was?
Yes. So a bunch of people coming to Milano. She died in Milano because she was in a hospital in Pavia. She died in Pavia, actually, near Milano. We brought her to our cemetery in Tuscany. I went home to my mother. I will always remember my mother's face. And there was the children, the kid. She had a daughter, 11-year-old.
Your daughter did?
My granddaughter, she was 11. You know, one thing is to lose your mother when you are two. When you are 11, and you are very close to your mother.
Yeah.
And you know, my granddaughter, she hates Scientology. Doesn't want to hear anybody speaks about Scientology. I try to put her in auditing and like that. She say, that's bullshit, she told me. Leave me alone.
Because she saw what happened to her mother.
Aye. So I stay at home 1 month. No, less. 12 days. Then they called me back they say, or you come back, now your daughter, I say, but I have my mother, I have the kid. You come back or you get in big trouble. So I came back to Flag. And the captain say, okay, Maria Pia, we want you to go to do OT VIII. You have to discharge this pay like that. You are paid. You go on the ship to do OT VIII. I bought a flight and I went to Bahamas on the free winds. I arrived and the first thing they say, you have to do a sec check.
No.
I went nuts. I say, so why? My daughter is died, I didn't kill her. Where is the crime I committed?
This is how they take care of you after your daughter's died?
At the end, so I started to discharge all the being in another place, not being at home. It was easier to
You start to feel a little
feel
bit of
a little
relief.
bit better, less grief, less. So I arrived the day that I went in the OT VIII course room.
And this is truth revealed now.
This is truth revealed. It revealed me that I had to leave Scientology.
Why? What happened?
Why? First, I find the first outtake. There's a list called CS 53.
A correction list.
Correction list that an auditor does until the old list, the meter is a penny. And LRH says you cannot do it in solo. The first thing I found was a CS 53 to a penny list in solo. I
No, you're kidding.
Yeah, I said, this is quite ridiculous.
Oh.
That's only for OT VIII, told me the supervisor. That's for...
So it's out tech until you get to OT VIII?
Yeah.
And then it's okay?
That's okay. So I did the first pack very fast, in 1 day, because I was auditing every day those actions, so
yeah.
I can do on other, I can do on myself, that's not the problem.
So that's not any truth revealed yet?
No. Then the truth revealed arrived. I opened the pack of the truth revealed. I tell you, Stacy, I was like that. I was like a stone. Then I say, maybe they make a fault, they give me the wrong pack. So I asked to the supervisor, is that pack OT VIII data? Oh yes, that's the truth revealed. I say, that's bullshit.
What does it say?
Pity.
No!
More people to audit.
No.
You have more people on the chair with you. And that's crazy. The data is, you have to go back on the track to find all the overtop of the track until you are like the shell, you know.
The clam.
The clam, the history of man. You go back. So you arrive to the clam, pluck, pluck.
You do History of Man on OT VIII?
Yeah, you have to read it.
No.
You do history of man. Yes.
No.
When you find this overt, you locate the BT and you ask him, is it yours? Is it mine? And you get a read. So I said, is this the truth revealed?
Oh, dear.
So to stay here like a stupid in front of a meter, paying a cabin what is cost on the free winds.
How much does it cost?
Oh, $8,000 is the course, OT VIII course. So you sit down there and you start to ask, is it yours? Is it mine? Is it of somebody else? Who is? Until you get no more read. Something happened during OT VIII. One day I was auditing, and I felt like my daughter was there. So I say, Federica, it's you. And the meter was an emotion. On my emotion was reading.
Yeah.
Start to FM, floating TA.
And a floating TA is
it
really,
means that the needle
really
goes up
good,
and
yeah.
down and you can't stop it. I say, I've finished OT VIII. I wrote to the senior CS, my OT VIII is done. I say, I don't want garbage anymore. I was thinking, I go down, I go back to flag, I make my luggage, go to Italy and route out. Say, that's it, it's finished.
You're done with Scientology.
Yeah, but it's not so easy.
Yeah.
So the night, this is nice, the night I attested OT VIII, I went offshore with some friends, and we went to see the casino in Nassau in the Bahamas.
In Nassau.
Guess what? Guess who were there?
Who?
David Miscavige, Raymond Toff, and the ED Guillaume Lesevre. They were gambling like crazy.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
But that's not.
With our money.
But that's not allowed in Scientology, is it?
They are the management. They know they do what they want. They were gambling, and that's nice because they saw me.
They saw you there?
The day after I was called by the senior CS, Margaret Supak. They told me, okay, please don't tell. They were just once in a while, you know, just to, they wanted to see the casino. I said, no, I wanted to see the casino. They were sitting at the table gambling. So I came back to flag. I don't know, I still had my daughter's death. And I don't know, I didn't feel like start fighting at that moment. I went back on the chair auditing and that's it.
But how did you feel about Scientology by then?
No, bad. Since that moment I felt very bad. I was looking for a way to get out. And that way arrived 9 months later when I got a phone call that my mother was hospitalized and she was dying.
Mm-hmm.
That was 11 months after my daughter's death. So I go, yes, but your mother, she's old, she can drop the body. I say, that's it, I'm the only daughter. I say, you approve my CSW? I go. You don't approve my CSW? I go anyway. They didn't approve my CSW.
They wouldn't let you go?
I took my suitcases and went to Italy.
You left anyway?
Yeah, I left anyway. So let's arrive to my mother's death. That was 11 December 91. The 21 December 91, my mother was out. 3 days after, Debbie Cook, the captain of flag, called me, say, you know, Maria, there's a new project, class 8 for it. I say, listen, my mother is still not in the grave. Wait a moment. 8-9 days after my mother's death, arrived in I had a huge villa where my parents were living in Tuscany, near Grosseto. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon arrived Tito Mazza, was the flag in charge for Italy. He was a senior member. The other one was a public, Marco Pugelli. He was a very good friend of my daughter, more or less same age. Was an FSM for flag.
Now an FSM is a field staff member?
Yeah.
That's a person who takes 10% commission from everybody that they're able to get into a new service, is that right?
Yeah, but that's not legal.
No, but that's what it is, isn't it?
That's what it is. They came and they started to talk to me. They say, you know, you are a full class 9 because you are auditor. I say, no, wait a moment. I did also class 8 and I'm on class 10. I'm more than a full class 9. Yeah, but you know, that's wonderful. You know, there's a project They know that I love Italy, I love my country, and they know that every time I was telling that we need people trained in flag.
So you felt like there ought to be more people who had been trained at flag in Italy.
From Italy. They start to say, you know, there's a huge project to make class 8 auditor. 200 Italian. I say, where do you find 200 auditor in Italy?
The project was to make 200 Italian Class 8 auditors.
Class 8 auditor NCSs from Italy and Switzerland, but Italian Switzerland. That corner of Switzerland, that's Italy. And the project will cost $2 million. Say, oh, good, who pay for it? I say, I will never do it. Don't ask me $2 million. I say, you are crazy or what? No, but you can start to do the first donation. Meanwhile, they were there. Debbie called from 5 to 6 times, talking to them, speaking to Tito Mats and to me. Yeah, Maria, you know, you will help your country. Your country had the raid, were shut off, so you can help your country. I said, thank you. I was so pissed off. I say, listen, guy, but you inherited now. I say, no, wait a moment. Before I inherit, I have to pay all the inheritance taxes. And I don't know how much it is. Well, you start the first donation. So I gave them $35,000, $30,000. I don't remember. I told to Teresa everything. I think was $35,000. A check and out. I want to stay in peace. I was decided not to come back to flag.
Had you told anybody
No. I wasn't telling to anybody. I was telling you, there's all the inheritance, you know, it takes time, it takes time. I was
You were stalling.
I was taking time. In the meantime, they were sending people to me to be audited in my house.
They were?
Staff members. So my house started to become like, you know, it was like a train station. People entering and people going out.
This is in Tuscany?
Yeah. My parents' house. Then, one morning my maid came and say, oh, Mrs. Gardini, we have a problem. I have what problem? We have 2 people sleeping in a car, in a garden. I say, what is this? There were 2 CR members sleeping in a car. I say, what the hell are you doing? You know, because we didn't want to disturb you. I say, at what time you arrived? At 2 o'clock in the night. Sure, you disturb at 2 o'clock in the night. It's not the time to go. So I gave some other money just to send them away, you know. A little money, they are happy, they have a check in their hand.
They were trying to get you to pay for
what?
For this Class 8 auditor project?
Yeah, for that Italian Class 8 auditor project. That is terrible. At a certain point, I say, I need to go back to flag. I arrived in the AGC,
in the
Hubbard
Guidance Center, HCC, which is where people get audited.
Yeah, of OT VIII eligibility. It was like if the Virgin arrived, because there were 18 people, Italian people, and no Italian auditor. I say, how can I go back now? I was trapped. I felt trapped. But all those were my pieces.
So you felt like the ethical thing to do was to take care of those people?
Yeah. People that you have audited, that believes in you, was to take care of them. So back on the chair, and it started the story. You have to give, the captain, you have to give at least $1 million. They knew by heart every piece of inheritance I had. I don't know where they get the information.
You didn't tell them?
No.
How did they find out?
They hired an investigator. I don't know. They knew everything. I say, okay, but in the next year, before 365 days, my mother dies, I had to pay the inheritance tax. I don't know till now how much it is. I will know in 6, 7 months. Oh, but you inherited billion, you know. And that start, you know, Stacy, that was terrible. I gave them all the money I had on my account here. Then
You gave them all the money you had at Flag?
Yeah, all. Bank account, not in the account.
Uh-huh.
Then one day the captain, every time was Wednesday.
Yeah. Well,
Or Thursday morning at 8 o'clock, I was taking up the chair to the captain, to the Reg officer, back and forth.
Well, that's significant because
Statistics.
the week ends at 2 o'clock on Thursday.
Yeah, sure.
So there always is a big push on getting money in right before 2 o'clock on Thursday, isn't there?
Yeah. And the problem was that I didn't have money here. You know, I don't keep here hundreds of million. I had 35,000 lira, dollars in my bank account.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to live on that.
Yeah.
I had my own house. I didn't have any rent to pay. Okay, that one morning I arrived there one time. Once the captain was in the registrar office.
This is Debbie Cook?
Yeah. What's the name of the CMO guy? The husband of Pilar Sadariaga, the blonde guy from CMO, Commodore Messenger.
I don't know.
And Per Anquist, that was my registrar. They shut the door and say, okay, Maria Pia, we need your help. We need to have all the OT, Class 8 material translated in Italian, because we have to get Italian here. You speak English, you can study in English. Not a lot of Italian can do it. So what? I say, so what? Translate it. At the first moment, I thought they want to help me to help translate in Italian. No, they wanted the money. I say, how can I give you the money? I might have $1,000 at the back, no more. And if I don't go in Italy to sign at my banker will not send out a penny. It wasn't true, but I tried. Oh, we find people that give you money. I say, who? Oh, your FSM, Chiara Staples.
She's in Italy?
No, she's here. She's married with an American. You know, FSMing, she bought a villa of $180,000 in Dunedin.
She's buying a villa for herself with commission?
For herself, yeah, with the commission. The husband has a construction in Minnesota. Anyway, Chiara, I look at her like this. She told them, I have money, I can, if Maria says that she will give it back to me, okay. And she arrived with a paper bag with the $50,000 in cash.
Cash?
Cash. She didn't keep that, I know. She didn't keep that on the account, bank account. You pay taxes on that. She had in a safe a full...
Well, but isn't the law that you aren't supposed to, no individual is supposed to make any money off of money that's going to a nonprofit organization?
Yeah, that's the law. But Chiara didn't put that money on the bank account. She changed the check, and she had a big safe in the bank full of $100 bills, full. So she arrived with $5,000. I say, okay.
50,000.
50,000. I say, why you did this? He say, you know, they managed me not to pay me the commission. You have to help. You have the money. Okay, that was 50,000. Let's go to the next Wednesday. They call and say, you know, 50,000 is not enough even to start the translation. I say, so what? We found somebody that give you money. I say, who? Teresa Bloom. Teresa Bloom is very rich. She's Swiss. She married Jerome Bloom.
Jerome.
Jerome, yes. Teresa called her mother in Switzerland, and her mother sent $100,000 to the church. I had to sign a paper to Teresa that I would have, within 1 month, she would have back the money. I say, no, there's not a lot of public here that or staff that has all that money.
They found another one.
Oh, they found another one. After a few time, I don't know how many weeks, sincerely, Stacy, I didn't count the days. They called me, it was Thursday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. I had a person knocking at the door in my apartment, in my condo. Rush, the captain wants you. I say, I'm in pajama at 6 o'clock. I'm not supposed to be at 6 o'clock dressed. So I get dressed, I get the uniform, went to Fort Harrison. And in the basement of Fort Harrison, where is the IIS area?
International Association of
Scientologists. There's a room. There were Captain FSO and Bob Foster and Foster. What's the name? Bob Foster, no.
Bill.
No, Foster, the Reg.
Yeah.
Dave Foster.
Dave Foster.
The lobster, as I call him.
Why?
Because when he gets angry, he becomes so red. Every time I'm afraid he get a stroke.
So this is Debbie Cook, the CO.
Debbie Cook, she still is the CEO. She make good money. I thought there was something going on in Italy, my house, you know. Somebody come to wake you up at 6 o'clock. You don't think it's for money again. Oh, Maria, here we are. We need you to arrive to $1 million donation. I say, I can't. Before leaving from Italy, I go back a moment, I put some lands to sell. I don't know how they know that the land were sold.
They knew that too?
They know everything. They have spies all around. So I say, you know, the money cannot come out of Italy if I don't go in Italy. I say, I was thinking, if I arrive to go in Italy, you'd never see me again. We found somebody. We found somebody in Italy. So they put me in a conference call with Franco Baggio. That is the biggest of Polish. He was one of my PCs, very rich. And Tito Mazza, the FSCIC, was in his house.
Who was Tito Mazza?
The FSCIC, the one that came to my house to take the first donation.
Ah, the flag service consultant.
Yeah. So a conference call, I couldn't say to Franco Baggio, say you don't have the money, because Tito Mazza was there and he was understanding Italian.
Yeah.
At that point, I was a bit afraid because they had my passport. I say, I never get out of here.
What do you mean they had your passport?
They asked me for my passport because they say to give the passport to OSA to have the green card. I knew that I couldn't have the green card.
To give it to OSA?
Yeah. I went to OSA 20 times. Nobody was looking for my passport. It's not here. It's in the other drawer.
They wouldn't give it to you?
At that point, I started to be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
I said, they have my passport. Tito Mazza understands Italian. If I say to Franco Baggio, don't give the money, I will never get out of here.
Mm.
But I had the force to say, Franco, if you want to give the money, but I'm afraid I don't know how much taxes I have to pay. Okay, stop the communication. The captain of flag Debbie Cook went out of the room. She was called for a phone call.
I can imagine.
And Dave Foster started to yell at me. I was becoming a couple of centimeters shorter every time he was open the mouth.
Mm.
He was yelling at me, and I was saying, no.
What was he saying to you?
You are not a good Scientologist, you are a bitch, that's not the way to act in life, your properties are Scientology property. I say, why? My parents are working their whole life to make that property. No, you have to give that, you don't want to help your country, you don't want to help Italy. You are a bitch. He told me that I was a bitch like 10 times. At the end, I said, no, I don't know. He slapped me.
He slapped you?
Yeah, on the face. And that was the moment I went in terror. I said, I will never get out alive from here.
I can't believe
you know,
it.
There was already 2 deaths in Fort Harrison, two public that died and were not really well known if they really died or what. I say, here, I don't go home. I will not see my granddaughter. I had Debbie Cook come in again. She made it purposely. She let me with David first.
She did, didn't she?
Alone. Yeah. I had tears in my eyes. I told to Dave Foster, if you move one finger again, I go to the police. But I was afraid. I was shaking. Really, Stacy, I was shaking. So they called back Franco Baggio, another conference call. I say, okay. I say, and Franco Baggio say, but in 1 month, he understood that I was in big problem. So he say, in 1 month I need the money. You have to come to Italy and give me the money. I say, okay, Franco, in 1 month. And that was $200,000. So it started to become very heavy, the cycle, you know. I had money sent to me from Italy every month from my bank, the income from the stores, the income. So every week was 5,000, was on and on and on. At a certain point.
You mean every week after that you were having to give them more money?
Yeah, 5,000. And I was keeping.
So they were calling you in every week?
Yeah, every week.
And saying you have to give more money?
Every week, every night, twice a week. That was a continuous. I had peace only when I was in my apartment. You know why? Because I took off the phone. I wasn't answering to the doorbell. So I said, bye-bye, I'm putting on TV, and that's it.
Why weren't you trying to leave and go back to Italy?
Without the passport?
So you couldn't get your passport back?
How will you get out from the country without the passport?
But you had to arrange some reason
to
for them to give you
I was looking
your passport back.
Yeah, I was looking for a. So I called Franco Baggio twice. I say, Franco, you told me you need the money in 1 month, so you must call your registrar and say to send me to Italy, because I cannot give you back your money if I don't come to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
They called me another time, and that time was really terrible. They knew that the land has been sold, and they knew that the land has been paid, and they knew I had the money at the bank in Italy.
How could they know?
A private investigator, an Italian good private investigator, can know everything you want. So at that point, I was called again, and I was told, clear, you have the money in the bank, now you can transfer the money. I say, how can I transfer the money without going down there and sign? Another conference call with the director of my bank.
No.
And in the room with us, there was Cosima.
Cosima is a woman, an Italian woman at Flag, is that right?
She was at that time the staff MA.
She was an ethics officer at Flag.
No, at that time she was a public officer, public ethics officer. I don't remember if it was Cosima, her husband, or who, sincerely. I remember the captain.
Debbie Cook.
Debbie Cook. I remember Dave Foster in the room. He went in and out. I don't remember. There were other people, I don't remember who. There was an Italian, that I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
The director of the bank say, okay, Mrs. Gardini, if you send me a fax with a copy of your document, like a passport, and a fax undersigned, I can send you the money. They wanted 500,000.
The Scientologists did.
Yeah, the Scientologists. I say, I don't have any document, I don't have any paper, my passport is at OSA, I say. In 3 seconds,
you had your passport.
The passport that wasn't, they couldn't find it for weeks. In 3 seconds, the passport has the feet and arrived from OSA to Flag. That was wonderful. So we made a photocopy of the passport.
It's a miracle, isn't it?
I took the passport, I put in my pocket. I said, you have to put the hands in my trouser pocket if you want the passport, otherwise it doesn't come out. And that was another $300,000. They understood at that point that I had to go to Italy if they wanted more money. So I arrived to Italy, and I went to the bank, and what happened was that the amount of inheritance taxes was the double of what I thought, and I had to sell the camping place I had to pay the inheritance taxes.
You had to pay the villa in Tuscany? You had to sell the...
No, I had the camping place. It's a big piece of land, it was 40,000 square meter, and I had to sell it. At this point, I was seeing money going out like a river. And staff member continuously coming, and Charmaine coming for the Cornerstone and the other. So
now,
I
what's
said,
a Cornerstone?
that huge building that they are building, like superpower building.
This big building they're building in downtown
I
Clearwater.
owe a stone of that, $35,000. That's quite an expensive stone. You can do it in gold.
So one stone of the
Yeah,
building costs $35,000.
They say we put your name in a stone in the corner. I don't want it. I don't want my name nowhere where there is a Scientologist sign. That must be clear. But I had Charmaine, the officer of the superpower, coming to my house the 1st of January at noon.
In Italy?
Yeah. At a certain point I said, that's it. I don't have one penny more. I have the villa. I sold, I have orders to survive. Camilla had to eat, had to go to school. So I came back. I arrived. Nobody knew that I was coming back in flag. I arrived at home. I was 2 days rested. I took a rest. I took some sun at the pool. Then I went to ethics officer and say, give me the routing form to route out from the Sea Org. You want to leave the Sea Org? Yes, sir, I say. And don't tell me anything because I don't listen to you. So the captain called me. So it took 2 months to route out. Normally in 1 week you can do the route. They put me to clean all the folder room. They make me to buy a class 12 intensive auditing to be audited on the sec check that you have to do to go out. That is...
You even had to buy your sec check to leave?
Yes, a class 12, not even a class 9, class 12. That is written is for free in the routing form.
It's
I didn't want
Maria.
to go out like this. I wanted to go out with the steps so nobody could say anything. It took me 2 months. And then I went home. Then I said, what do I keep an apartment here in Florida if I stay in Italy? So I called Gymnasium and I said, sell my apartment, my condo, please. It was very easy. In 3 days, I sold it. I don't know, but they have ears and tents. I don't know what they have, these Scientologists there. I was coming out from the bank.
In Florida?
Yes, I'm South Bank, where I got the money.
For the sale of the
condo.
condominium?
I find 4 people, 4 officers of Scientology out of the bank. They took me to Fort Harrison. The last floor, there are the special LRH properties. You know, they made in gold all this bullshit. And they made...
What did they make in gold?
DMSMH, the Scientology books, in steel.
In steel?
So you can, because you can put it under the earth. And next generation, when they arrive, they will say, what is this bullshit? Okay.
But you can buy those?
They're not so cheap, but you can buy those. You buy an apartment with the price of... I was kept there by 4 officers.
And what happened?
You know what happened? I made a check of $25,000 to get out. I bought the Dianetic book in steel. But they are thieves. Because the Dianetic book in steel are 6 boxes. They sent me the first 2 boxes in Italy, and that's it. They must have 2 spare boxes. They say, that's poor, stupid, we sent 2, it's enough.
They never even sent you what you paid for?
No. And those 2 boxes I threw to the garbage with all the rest of Scientology material. If you come to my house, there's nothing. The gold bracelet of OT VII, the gold bracelet of OT VIII, everything is gone to the garbage. The bust of LRH, everything. I had nausea, you know. When I heard Scientology, I had nausea.
Yeah.
When I took the last flight for Italy, you know, it was like if I was 20 years younger. That was truth revealed, not OT VIII. That was truth revealed. Get away from the people. But that started all the tax problem.
What do you mean?
I mean that I was broke. At that point I was broke. I gave to $1 million for the donation class. This is another point. Before leaving Flag, I realized that in the class 8 course room there was no one Italian. So I was regged for $1 million donation for Italy. There was no one Italian. And the material of class 8 were not being translated. So I went to the captain and I said, I want my money back.
You went to Debbie Cook?
Yeah. And she showed me, you know, look. She bring me in near the auditorium, there is a marble plaque with all the name of the donator. Your name is in gold there. I say, I'm no longer your member. She said, no, you're out now. Okay, Debbie. I say, no, sir, Debbie. Take away that name from there. I'm not dead yet. You put it there when I die. I'm not dead yet. And I want back my money because that was a trick, the story of Italy like that. We have Japanese, American, English, Australian, and the only Italian that was in the course was take off the course because he couldn't study in English.
So the whole thing was a fraud.
Was a fraud, a total fraud. The captain, FSO, Mrs. Debbie Cook, bought a new car with my money. Is not a fraud that she bought a car.
She got some of the money that you donated for the class 8?
Yes, because apparently she told, was the ethic officer that told me. It's not that I knew from her. The ethic officer, because I saw her with a new car, I say, oh, is she rich from her house that she bought a car, an expensive car? She say, no. She got the commission on your donation. I say, my $1 million donation? She got the commission.
Oh my gosh.
And she bought a car? So it's for that I gave my money, that I went broke? I was furious.
Oh.
I left, I say, Debbie, you are no longer my captain. I can call you Debbie. Debbie, I want my money back.
What did she say?
I will go in the court against that, because that's a fraud. I say, I'm broke, I have to sell my parents' house. And I left. Altogether, I gave Scientology more than $2 million. Anyway, I went to a lawyer. I had problem, you know, problem to the point that I was losing the furniture of my house. Mm. I don't know how they knew it, because they know everything. I'm sure they know that I'm here talking to you. I'm sure. So they called me, they say, we can make an arrangement. And they send a person to Rome, where they have a lawyer, with a check.
What is this?
Yeah, she was doing like that with the check under my nose, knowing that I was losing the furniture of my house because of them. And say, okay, let's talk about the 1 million donation. I say, let's talk about everything. No, about 1 million donation. So they made me sign an agreement that I would have left $500,000 and get $500,000 back.
They agreed to give you half the money back?
Half the money of the donation.
Of the Class 8 auditor donation.
Yeah, not of the money that I paid for my bridge, for OT level, for all the garbage I had in the house.
So this was just for the Class 8 donation?
Yeah, for the Class 8 donation.
In return for what? Did they tell you they would give you only half?
They wanted to help me. They were very helpful. You know, the captain of flag is very helpful. I see I remember I told her if she was so helpful, she had just to leave me in peace when I was down there. So anyway, they sent me in three checks, 1 month, 1 month, 1 month, the $500,000. I don't have a copy of that agreement.
You didn't get a copy of the agreement?
No, because they say we have to bring the agreement back, must be signed in flag also by the captain, by I don't know, by David Miscavige, the other thief, the other big thief. I never had a copy of that.
They didn't send it to you?
No. I asked a lot of time. And they told me, you know, you are in good standing. You still have $29,000 on your account. If you ever want to come to Flag as a public, to have a good time in Florida, or to get some auditing, I would never have done. But something in my head made a click. After a few months, I called Flag, and the girls of the call-in, Natalie, told me, but I don't think you have any money. I say, wait a moment, I had $29,000 on my account. She say, call me back tomorrow. I called back the day after. She said, no. First of all, you don't have any money. I said, no, Natalie, you are wrong. No, that money is no longer there. Second, we don't agree that you come to Flag.
But were they saying that you weren't in good standing after all?
Well, to make me sign, yes.
But they told you that if you would agree to only take half your money back, then in return for that, you would be able to continue to get services at Flag.
Yeah.
But then when you called, it turned out that that wasn't true. You weren't allowed to continue to get services at Flag.
I wasn't allowed. So at that moment, I took paper and pen. I wrote to the captain, FSO, Mrs. Debbie Cook. I wrote to Mr. Miscavige, that is at the top of all this. I wrote to the ED Int, Mr. Guillaume Lesevre, that I wanted all my money back. I wanted a total refund.
Not just of the money from the
No,
Class
I
8.
wanted all. All the money that I gave for my services that were bullshit. I never had any. I didn't felt well. I was a wealthy person when I arrived in Scientology. I was like a beggar when I was at the end. They took me everything.
And you...
No answer, no answer, no answer. I wrote to the CLO Italy, where I was the Qualsec Italy. It came out that they didn't know me.
What do you mean?
They didn't know me. We have no track of you. I wrote to Roma.org.
Unbelievable.
That's the biggest. I wrote to Roma.org. It was my org where I started. It came out that we have no track of you here, that you paid something here.
You're kidding.
I wrote in answer, I say, you know what the track? Look at the bust of LRH you have on the door. Every time you go in and out, that's paid by me. I went to a lawyer. I was, for 3 years, Stacy, I was going around like a stupid. Then Karl Braunsteiner, that's a very good friend of mine from Austria, was telling me of your group.
About the Lisa McPherson Trust?
Yeah, that's why I came to you. You know, I feel like a stupid. I was a stupid. But what they did to me was to wait that my daughter was dying, my daughter was dead, my mother was dead. I was in big pain and troubles and emotional troubles. At that moment, they caught me. They would never have caught me if I was normal like I'm now. Now I'm a normal person.
Yeah.
No more BTs, nothing.
Well, how do you feel about Scientology after this whole experience?
It's not a religion. It's a money maker group. It's not a religion at all. And I feel that Scientology doesn't help anybody. It helps only the pockets of the management. That I know.